it's incredible. It's definitely, basketball careers aren't that long. If you can get 10 out of it, you're lucky. And so, to be the 5 straight finals, I don't even know what to say about it. This is what you play for. This is our goal every year, and to get here 5 straight times is special. And saying that, we know we still have more work to do. The goal is never just to get to the finals. The goal is to go win the finals. With these 9 days off, we definitely want to get our guys healthy. We need to get Andre back healthy, DeMarcus and Kevin. We need those guys going into the finals. That's our hope, that we can get all 3 of those guys back moving forward. But in saying that, we've had guys step up all along. This entire time, and we're going to look forward to those guys continuing to step up no matter what happens with the injuries that we have. But, we're trying to go win this thing. It's never the goal just to get there. I've been to a finals and lost. It's no fun. So, trying to get it done.
Back-to-back triple-doubles. First Warrior to ever to do that in postseason history. There's Rachel Nichols in Portland. Rachel, what a story Draymond Green has been these last couple of games. We see how lean he is now. Man, he's lost a lot of weight since the All-Star break, and he needed to do it with how much running he's doing. What impressed you about him?
Yeah, look, you mentioned it at the top there. It was not the easiest season for Draymond. Had some injury issues, as you mentioned, not in the best shape of his career. And remember, in the first month of the season, he got in that argument with Kevin Durant publicly on the bench at the Staples Center, got suspended by the team for it, which made the issue what could have been maybe a small thing they could have played off as, it was just sort of heat of the moment. That turned it into a full-scale affair that he then had to answer for both internally and externally. And as you mentioned, after the All-Star break, he started watching his diet a little bit differently, was able to have some better conditioning. He lost more than 20 pounds, and as you have said, they needed him in this playoffs. What's been so interesting to me talking to Draymond the past few nights, though, is how happy and he is excited he is to make these kinds of contributions. When we talk about sacrifice and the sacrifices that the Golden State Warriors have had to make to bring Kevin Durant in, it's a word we throw up so often, guys, that you almost forget what it means. But what it has meant for Steph Curry, for Draymond Green, is they don't get to be their full basketball selves because Kevin Durant is there to take some of that away. And that cushion is great when you have Kevin Durant. You end up winning a bunch of titles, but you don't get to be the player that you could truly bloom into being. And we saw in this series, Steph Curry and Draymond Green especially in full bloom. And I spoke to Draymond after this, and he said to me, actually the last couple nights, he said, look, when Kevin's there, I'm fourth in line. He goes, Kevin will tell me, hey, you can shoot too, but come on, there's only so many basketballs. There's only so many shots to go around. With more of these guys dropping like flies between Andre Iguodala, Kevin Durant, and as he mentioned, Boogie Cousins, those shots were there for him. He got to be himself, and we saw it in this series. I believe him when he says he wants Kevin back, when he wants Iggy back, when he wants even Boogie back for the finals, because they know they'll need those guys to face a tough Eastern Conference team. But they enjoyed this series, and you could see it on their faces.
No doubt. Now they have 9 days of rest until it begins a week from Thursday. Plenty of time to hydrate. Rachel, one of the best in the business. Great job tonight. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Sports Center on the road is presented by Rocket Mortgage by Quick.
Lake Show took on a ton of water today. Los Angeles continues to get belted around. And just as Kevin Bacon's character in Animal House said, remain calm, all is well. Lakers GM Rob Pelinka said after today's soap opera episode, so I think people can look at this as an opportunity to win a championship, possibly next year. That's quite a leap of faith in a hurry. It was an eventful day in L.A. that actually all started in New York on the set of First Take after Magic sat down and went off.
I think if you're going to talk betrayal, it's only with Rob. I start hearing, Magic, you're not working hard enough. Magic's not in the office. So people around the Laker office was telling me Rob was saying things. And I didn't like those things being said behind my back, that I wasn't in the office enough and so on and on. So I started getting calls from my friends outside of basketball saying those things now were said to them outside of basketball. When I took the job, you know how many agents called me and said, you got to watch out for him. And I said, I got to give the guy a fair chance. I can't listen to people. And so, but he was a hard worker, smart guy. But now you have that position. So I'm good with that.
These things are surprising to hear and disheartening, but I look forward to the opportunity to talk with him and sit down with him and work through them, just like in any relationship, because they're just simply not true. I think the most important thing for me is the 2 years of getting to work side by side with Irvin are some of the greatest memories I have in sports and work.
Here's Stephen A. Smith now. Stephen A., you're taking sides. Magic calls Pelinka a backstabber, and Rob makes it sound like they just spoke a couple days ago and everything's great. What's up?
No, there's no way in hell I'm not taking Magic's side. Of course I'm going to side with Magic Johnson. Magic Johnson was the one in the studio. Magic Johnson was the one that was incredibly forthcoming about where he stands and how he feels and why. And more importantly, Magic Johnson's not the one with the reputation that Rob Pelinka has in terms of not being necessarily truthful. Magic Johnson was absolutely right in terms of what other people were saying about Rob Pelinka, and I take no pleasure in saying that. Rob Pelinka has never done anything wrong to me. He's always been very honest whenever I've spoken to him. The problem is you can't count the amount of people who genuinely dislike him, and it dates back to his days as an agent. And so when you consider the residue of that in terms of his historical background, and then you take into account what Magic Johnson said about him on First Take Monday morning, then what you surmise or deduce from that is that it's consistent with everything that a number of critics have said about Rob Pelinka dating back almost a decade at least. That cannot be denied.
In essence, though, Stephen A., for the he said, the only thing that matters is, will this impact the Lakers getting the big-time free agents to come to Los Angeles? And your answer to that is what?
I think it has the potential to have a profound impact because now LeBron James is standing all alone. After all, look at the organization. Who else is going to recruit? When you have Magic Johnson there, understand what you had. You had a guy who signed on to be an overseer. There were supposed to be subordinates under his stewardship that pounded the pavement and went about the business of doing everything they could to bring the great information to him, and then he was to make a decision. He wasn't somebody that was going to divest all his business interests, stop making money away from the Lakers organization, and be completely dependent on the Lakers organization for his finances the way the Buss family appears to be. That was never the deal that Magic Johnson signed on, according to what he told me. And now that he's publicized that to the masses and made sure that message is disseminated, I think it clearly has compromised the Los Angeles Lakers. I think the Lakers could potentially pay a price for it, and that price may be not attracting one single major marquee free agent to their franchise this summer.
How much were you surprised of everything he aired on your show this morning?
I was surprised at how candid he was about Pelinka. It's certainly something that he had heard. It was no secret the things that were being said about Rob Pelinka. And I personally spoke to Rob Pelinka and told him, these things are being said about you. His response is, people can be envious and jealous, Stephen, and sometimes when you're successful, people hate on you. But my response to him was, that's a few people. There's a laundry list of people that are saying this about you. In 25 years of covering the NBA, I can't find anybody that has had so many people speaking so ill of them and the veracity that comes out of their mouth or lack thereof, the way Rob Pelinka has been spoken of. And now for Magic Johnson to be the one individual to come out and state publicly what so many people have stated off the record, it was quite shocking that he was that candid when no one in NBA history has come out that candid about Rob Pelinka before. I was kind of shocked by that.
Hey, let's make a hard left turn and get on the court, thankfully, here. What have we learned by the Warriors sweeping away the Blazers, Golden State advancing back to the NBA Finals?
That this notion that the Golden State Warriors cannot win without the services of Kevin Durant may be stretching it a bit. Clearly, they're a bit compromised because Kevin Durant is somebody I consider to be the best in the world. You don't just replace somebody like that. But the Golden State Warriors have done just that. What the Golden State Warriors have told us is that they are the two-time reigning defending NBA champions, and it is for a multitude of reasons. In case you forgot, you better ask somebody. That means whatever team comes out of the East, whether it's Toronto or Milwaukee, beware. Write this team off at your own peril. These boys are marksmen, they're snipers, they're assassins, and they are coming.
And you're coming up from Toronto tomorrow morning. Thanks very much. Stephen A. Smith, the very latest.
All right, let's take a deeper look into two huge shots late in overtime in Game 4 via Second Spectrum. The big green three-pointer, shooting from that spot, just a 30% chance to make it, but he makes it, and the Warriors suddenly lead by 4. Triple-double for Draymond Green in this game. He had to shoot that. The shot clock was winding down. Next possession, here come the Blazers. After a Lillard shot was blocked, you can see, boy, it says he has a 30% chance to make it from there, but that's a much tougher shot than Green's 30%. You know, it was a pretty good look. Obviously a great shooter. But Lillard, swept by the Warriors.
I just think we look back at the season overall and the way we responded, you know, after a lot of people, you know, got on our cases. You know, a lot of people came down on us. And we got back to work. You know, each guy came back better individually, and we put together a great season. And, you know, we lose our owner. We dealt with injuries. You know, Nurk out for the season. CJ missed a lot of games at a crucial stretch in the season. And we just kept answering the call. And that takes a group for guys to, you know, maybe go from not playing minutes, stepping up, giving us good minutes. Trusting each other, leaning on each other. It takes a real group to be able to come together in those hard times on more than one occasion. And I thought we did that. And, you know, we put together a great season and we put ourselves in position to go to the finals. You know, I think every other team in the league would, you know, wish they could be in our shoes. You know, not only making the playoffs, but getting the opportunity to play for a chance to go to the finals. And we just ran up on a team who's been there the last 4 years. And, you know, when it came time, they were a player down and they executed. You know, they were sharp. They did everything a level up, you know, from what we did. And they was able to come out on top.